Connected.
This is the Fat Rat. I had a lot of requests from people asking, hey, can you show me any
Channel
other
switched.
music that has a similar vibe, like the stuff that you produce? So therefore I decided to upload the latest version of my mixtape series, The Ratness, to YouTube. I hope you like it, and if you use Spotify, I also created a playlist recently, also called The Ratness on Spotify. You might want to check it out. Enjoy!
Hello to everybody who's watching.
User joined your channel.
Hello, who is that?
User left your channel.
That wasn't long, is it?
User joined your channel.
Oh, okay, that's
Ooh, it was the bearded wonder himself, Mark Dupont.
How are you doing, Mr. Mazzoni?
Quite nice, as always.
Oh,
Just
good.
playing some fun simulator.
Yeah, a little bit of relaxed time. So what time are you on till? It's 2 o'clock here now. Usually you sign off in about 50 minutes, so I'm guessing
About.
Yeah, okay. So you get exactly 1 hour.
Well, at this time, yes.
Good for you. It's the right thing to do. I highly encourage that kind of behavior.
Me too. So, how are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm almost done year 1 of the challenge, but now I'm starting to breed some efficiency into my systems. It's getting better and better. I actually have a couple of days off on my farm,
Oh,
so I think I'm gonna go hunt or something. Yeah. Do an episode of Farm Sim where I play Hunter Call of the Wild.
yeah, just whole episode crouching on the bushes.
Yep. Waiting for a deer to go by.
Be very quiet.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
hunting rabbits.
I love that game because it's I play it with bow only, so for me it's just about being very patient, and the graphics in it are just amazing. So you can just get lost in the forest.
You mean Hunter?
Yep. The Hunter Call of the Wild.
Yeah, I've seen few photos of it, but haven't played it myself.
Yeah, I got introduced to it by Landy and Monjack over on another TeamSpeak server, and I wasn't really, it wasn't something that really talked to me, going hunting virtually and all that. But when I started walking around the landscape that they built in that game, it is astounding. And with headphones on, it's so immersive. It's beautiful.
I can imagine that.
Yeah. I just ended up going for walks. Like, there's 2 maps. There's a North American map and a German map. And I just ended up going for walks for days on end and just, going to explore, looking for relics and looking for castles. And, oh, there's an animal. Kill it. But it's definitely the only first-person shooter I play nowadays is the Hunter.
So today starts the picking up the sawdust.
Ah! You're gonna make a fortune on that.
Yep. If the price is right.
Yeah, I feel like that's an endeavor where for role play it's really neat, but for profitability, the number of hours versus the returns, I don't think so.
Well, if you got to pick up the eggs.
Yeah, never forget your eggs.
If you use like picker loader or a push blade to get them like together fast in one
Yeah.
big pile, then it's easier to like load from that.
Yeah. Actually, the smartest thing I saw so far was Trucker Brad put like that snowblower mod on it.
Yeah.
And a trailer, and he just was driving around with that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I should do that too. And I forgot I need to grind the stump.
Uh-oh. Well, oh yeah, because then you're just going to end up having to do it twice, right?
Yep.
Well, it's certainly easier to pick up wood chips now and grind stumps when you got no grass growing.
Yeah.
You should hurry up and get your $1 million from your nugget hunt now before the grass grows, because some of them are hard to find in the grass.
I need to. Well, I don't know when the grass grows, so.
Well, you're on day 2? I think day 3 you'll get a first stage, and then day 6 you'll get a second stage. I think you can do 2 harvests of grass, so. But of course it's dependent on temperature too, so.
Yeah, I'll need to think about the gold nuggets, but because I just need to get the fields plowed first.
Right. Oh, you don't have a helper working on the fields yet?
No, I need to get them bigger first. That's the goal.
Okay. Well, you could at least have them working on the existing fields and then do an expansion pass afterwards, right?
Actually, yes and no. I'm doing it all by curve play.
Oh, okay.
was actually wondering, what's your internet connection that you use?
I use a DSL line. The problem with my DSL line is because I live on the islands, the upload-download is very twitchy. So if I'm uploading something, my download dies. And if I'm uploading, then I can't download, then I can't even watch a stream because it interferes with each other. That being said, the ping rate on it is ridiculously fast. Like when I play with Delta on the server, I'm shooting like 24s, 25s. So the frequency of the checkup is fast. It's just the bandwidth is low. Now this winter, when I move to the city side, I'll have fiber all the way to the boat. So at that point, I'll be able to consider streaming. But until that happens, yeah, it's not happening out here. It's one of those things where there's only 500 people who live on the island, so it's a very low priority for the internet providers to upgrade the hardware.
Yeah.
They kind of say, well, you can surf your Facebook, so what are you complaining about? That being said, I found another wireless system called MiFi, which has a very good upload speed, but it's a bit expensive. So I'm just, this summer I'm going to hold off because work has been a little bit spotty at best. But once I get going on the business side, I'll be in good shape.
What's the cell phone reception there?
It's good. It's good. I can see the CN Tower from where I'm sitting, so it's cell phone is fine. But again, my cell phone provider, I tend to do a few. I get 10 gigs of upload on my 4G, and I get another 10 gig on a little machine that I have, which costs me $25 a month. But once I run those up, they throttle those two back and slow with everything else.
Yeah, you have to pay for your data.
Exactly.
Well,
because I
don't want to brag.
No. But I mean, Finland and Norway and Sweden and all of the northern European countries have understood that, internet is like water these days. If you want to stimulate business and if you want to run an economy, you have to have the infrastructure. So, you get charged for it in your taxes or whatever it is, but everybody has access. And that's
yes and no.
a much better way to go. But it must be heavily subsidized for you to be able to have your speed, the speed and the bandwidth, the amount of bandwidth you guys have. It has to be heavily subsidized by the government.
Well, I don't think so. I haven't searched that deep into it, but we get like unlimited data on our cell phones.
Yeah.
And like data rates on the cable that I have is like 100 megs. Up and like download is 100 and upload is like 10.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking about getting a pay-as-you-go phone out of New York State, because in New York they do have unlimited international data. I've got a friend who's a sailor who sails out of just outside of New York City. Actually, I think he's in New Jersey, but he has a mobile phone and that's all he uses. And he only pays like $30 or $40 a month, and he gets unlimited high-speed 4G, yada yada yada, or even LTE, I think, data. So that may be another solution in terms of cheap sort of pirate internet.
You just have to have the reception on it.
Yeah, but they basically just that's the insulting part about it, is that our internet providers are willing to sell it in bulk to the American carriers for their unlimited data, but they kill us on it. Like, they bleed us to death, but internationally they're very generous.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, our telephone companies are basically the most corrupt companies. They truly are. They have a monopoly. They have their own cartel going on. They all match each other on price. There's no real competition, and in the end, we all lose. And their excuse is that we're such a big country that it's more expensive to provide the service. But that's a load of bull because they simply don't provide any service to the rural customers at all. You know, I have a
They
friend who
just
lives on a
charge you
farm.
for the service
Yeah,
that
exactly.
they don't provide.
Exactly. So, you know, it's then when they go to the government and the government keeps trying to tell them like, guys, you're screwing your customers, and they keep saying, no, we have to do it this way because, you know, in Nunavut it's very expensive to provide service. Yeah, but you're not providing service in Nunavut. So why are we giving you an exception? So it's just a big corrupt corporate government pile of bull.
Yeah. Actually, I just remembered something about some kind of a law in here that every citizen should have like a opportunity to high-speed internet,
Yeah, yeah. And I think
unlike on
that's
government part.
yeah. And it makes sense, right? I mean, back in the day, I mean, the reason why landlines were so cheap is that that was seen as a basic economic
Necessity.
right for, you know, for people to be able to look after themselves and to create economic opportunities and all that stuff. And the internet is that now. Governments and internet providers seem to still look at it as just a very cheap little gold mine that they've got going on, and they're not giving it up. And until there's the political will to fix it, which there isn't, we're just going to keep getting bled. Like many other things, right? It's like, what's your vision of economic growth? Either you grow the top or you grow everybody. And in North America, that whole idea of, you know, if you let the rich get richer, everybody's going to be better off is still clinging on for dear life. And Ryan still rules. Oh, I think you're full.
Nah, there's just a tiny bit of room in the left corner, but I cannot get it.
You're going to have to lean your trailer to the left to be able to get it.
Yeah,
You just
not
have to be
happening.
careful which direction the trailer is leaning, and you can sort of even out your load. I'm blown away that that little blue trailer has now made the rounds. I mean, I found that thing on like week 2 of FS17, and I never saw anybody use it at all. And now I'm having a hard time finding a stream where nobody's using it.
Well, that just shows you how good it is.
It is. It's one of those little jewels that you find along the way surfing websites and, you know, just doing testing. I feel like a lot of people, when they look for mods, they just look for big mods. They look for a big solution to a small problem. And because my logging is largely based about what you're doing now, which is just expanding land, I just never needed an auto-loading legal tractor trailer.
Yeah. If I could have, I would have like the in-game trailer with the upload.
Yeah. See, when I first started off on this game, my whole fun with logging was with trains. I used to just sell all the equipment, buy a Kramer with the dual fork front forks, and just go along the railroad tracks and load up the trains with logs and make a couple $1,000 and then start my farm. I do enjoy using the claw. Everybody likes to hate the trains and hate the claw, but I've had so much fun playing the claw game.
I actually, well, yeah, mixed feelings.
Wow, you're getting prices of 5,000 for wool in the spring?
Yep.
Okay. Nice, I'll take that in mind.
I should really like dig up some XML files.
I know, but I can do it, but I just refuse to. I've been just keeping an eye on wool prices all year, and now I've got the parking lot of the wool factory full of wool right now, but I'm not. I haven't sold anything. I'm just waiting for peak price. I figure if I hit one high demand, I can probably make 2 or 3 million.
Yeah.
But you just gotta wait for it, right? You gotta be patient and kind of gamble.
And then you're doing something else and the opportunity also as you.
Yeah. Well, I figured that, I had a high demand pop up, but it was a high demand on a low price, so yay, yeah, we can get $4,000 a bale. That's really great. No, thanks. I want a high demand that hits that $5,000 price. Then I'm getting 10,000, and that means 20,000 per bucket. And I'm gold. I still haven't bought that Valmet. I'm getting to it. Promise.
Oh, by the way, it's getting an update.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I just browsed around the internet and I found Farmery99's post on Facebook, and it's having an update with the own like front load tools.
Well, you showed me that yesterday. I've already downloaded those 30.
Yeah, that's not the official tools for it. Farmery is making his own tools and more like front linkage for the tractors.
Oh.
I'm enthusiastically pointing to the screen and trying to point for you. Like, listen up, buddy.
Yeah, maybe next time we have your webcam on. But even then, web delay would just look goofy.
Yeah, not going to cam it.
Yeah. So I was watching Farmer Line, and he's well over $1.5 million after a year in the business. But he made a good point though, because Grizzly is behind him, yet Grizzly is at 700,000. So, and Grizzly still has a whole winter of logging to go. So Grizz might be ahead of this game.
Isn't Farmer doing just silage bales?
Silage bales and logging is what he seems to be focusing on.
And Grizzly?
Grizzly is doing more traditional agriculture. He seems to be planting fields of canola and soybean and stuff like that, like high value crops. So
Low yield, high value.
yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, low yield is a better thing anyway because you save on transportation time, right?
Yeah.
If you can do 10 laps of your field before you need a single offload, you're better off doing that than having to bale and do everything else that you would with wheat and barley, which is a hell of a lot more labor intensive for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But I think Grizzly is also thinking about going into all the animals. He wants to start up all the animals on his. So I think that's where maybe his theory will fall apart. Not because those are not profitable, but because of the time restraint. The 15 times speed is the biggest limitation to this challenge.
Yeah. I got an awesome mod from Marhu's site like a few months ago.
Which does what?
Lely Juno 100. You will see it on the stream soon. It's like the 150 but without a worker.
Oh!
It's automatic.
Oh, okay.
A lot like faster and better and more automatic without the helper.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking about getting a Juno to do my sheep cleaning for me. But, it's one of those things that it's one of the joys that I have, that I wake up every morning and I go and look after my animals and then I start my work day. So I've never, I used to run one of those on I think I run one of those when they first came out, and I kind of felt like it was, I don't know, it just took away from the joy of having the animal. So
Yeah, I actually enjoy it too, with just
yeah,
small tractor and bucket.
yeah, yeah, because that's what I'm like. Right now, I'm using the UTV for my animal care, but I'm actually going to tomorrow. Like today was a work day for me on the farm. I've got everything taken care of now, so I've got a day off tomorrow. So I think tomorrow I'm going to drive down to the store, sell my UTV, and swap it out for a Valmet, and just use that strictly for animals. Like park it beside the sheep barn and just use it for the sheep.
Yeah, it shouldn't cost you a lot more.
No. I wonder how quickly hay bales deteriorate if they're not in a covered space.
With 15 times speed, it might be quite fast.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about trying, because I'd like to, you know, they're talking about adding
Snow mask on
snow mask.
placeables.
Yeah. And then that'll be great because I can put a little hay barn directly across from the sheep instead of having to use the main barn. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I also did some redecorating with that roller tool yesterday. It was a lot of fun. You can see how it has a lot of potential in terms of creativity because if you just use it at its base, it's not very pretty in terms of what it looked like. But if you're a little bit creative about how you paint the ground, it actually looks quite good.
Yeah, you can mix like rocky mountainside with the dirt.
Yeah. They need to come up with another version of it though that is maybe a quarter of the width, so you can do fine detail work, like just adding a little bit of mud here and there, or adding a little bit of gravel here and there, or adding some dirt to your gravel. To you know how old guy adds a little bit of dirt to his gravel roads just to make them look a little used. That sort of thing I think would be really great. And they also need to find. Go ahead.
First add dirt, then remove the dirt with gravel. Then you have dirt spots on your gravel road.
Yeah, but they're very square because of the shape of the roller. Like I'd like there to be an extra key function in there which gives you a percentage of how much dirt or how much gravel you're adding, so that you can overlay ground texture, right? So you add gravel and then you add 2% dirt here and there just to give it a little bit of a texture. So I was playing around with that yesterday, just trying to make it look more natural and less like I was towing a paver, and I got some good results. You know,
Well, it's good, but it's labor intensive.
Oh, it is, yeah. But I've got the farm running now that basically, you know, I only really have to work every second day, so it's just saving me a huge amount of time. So I get an extra day I get half my time just doing goofy stuff and having fun, and keeping the farm sort of looking good, right? So that's sort of my ambition is to, yes, play the game, and yes, play it to win, but play it efficiently so that I'm not working nights, and so that I'm not working every single day. Gives me some freedom to do other things. Might even do some vlogging this winter, who knows?
Wish you could remove these little bushes with the stump grinder.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I was joking on Farmer Fine's stream that I wish the stump grinder worked on buildings. So, you know, when there's a shed in the middle or an outhouse in the middle of a yard, you could just fucking take the stump grinder and, you know, it takes you 15 minutes of grinding at it, but it'll eventually go away. And just turn it into a pile of sawdust.
20,000 liters of silky sawdust.
Yeah. Because he was cutting all the trees down at the bottom of the hill. There's a little patch of trees that he was cutting down, but there's a building and an outhouse in the middle of that little forest. And it's like, it would be nice to just be able to destroy that and plow that under, you know? Or even put in a rock, like, you know, that rock that's sitting there on just over to your side? You could just add a rock destruction mode to a grinder or something.
Yeah.
Start blasting. I know you can plow rock, but when there are objects, you can't. Although I did make that mistake when I first played Goldcrest, there was a water fountain and a rock right near, right in the middle of that field where you're working now. And I plowed the rock, but I couldn't get rid of the water fountain. So whenever I was harvesting stuff, I kept running into the water fountain. And then the harvester kept getting caught on the giant mountain of rocks. Do you know if you lay down grass texture using the roller, if the grass grows back?
Nope.
No,
There was an add-on or mod, wild grass, that let you plant grass anywhere.
Right.
But I think that's bugged or broken.
Oh, okay.
You could test it on somewhere.
Yeah.
Just get the cheapest 3-meter sowing machine.
Yeah, but I was thinking about actually just grabbing a 2-furrow plow and just hitting the ground destruction on it, like the Y on it, and then just seeding in grass and making grass.
Yeah.
patches here and there. So how'd you like my map tour of Old Guy Farmer's map?
Well, as I said, not the 30 seconds, but real fast.
Yeah.
But that was another fun fun way to do it from
Yeah.
you. You kind of always think of these great ideas.
Well, I started doing a 30-second kind of slow motion aerial photography kind of shoot at it, but then I was like, well, it doesn't really look that different if I do it this way, because anybody who doesn't know the original map's not going to fucking understand what's different. So, you know, and I looked at my original opening for the series, and I was like, yeah, it's the same freaking map basically. If I do it this way, no one's going to understand what the hell I'm doing. So, you know, I grabbed the motorcycle mod, put it in winter mode, and I went, okay, let's go. I figured nothing says seasons mod more than putting it in winter, and then just went for it.
Yeah.
Because there's still not enough. Trees that change color on the map. I feel. I think he needs like entire forests of non-evergreens to really give the map that northern kind of feel to it. Because right now it's still mostly a pine forest. Plus, I think that, you know, if he wants to make it extra hard, I think having to clear all the trees out of those fields and not have them all be pine trees would make it extra hard. You'd have to grind every single tree up, and that would make it extra hard.
Like some birds and poplar.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, the sosnovka trees. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. There's something else to do. This is the ones. Like get a bunch of birch and maples and oaks in there, and just make a beautiful forest of all those beautiful trees, and then you have to show up with a chainsaw and a fucking wood chipper and get to work.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Yeah, well, it would be, but it would also be awesome, you know. Like you can label that one the extra hard.
I think there is some kind of a command on the or a command that resets your money when you're starting, or it can manipulate the money on the start of the new game, depending on map.
which means what, on seasons or?
No, on like mod maps, you can specify what kind of a money you start.
Oh yeah. I mean, he set it at 15,000 as his start. I don't think that's automatic. Is that automatic?
I think that's automatic for the hard mode, but there's some kind of a command that lets you change it to 0 or million.
Oh, okay.
But I just cannot remember what it is. Because the extra hard mode should start you with like 100,000 loan and 0 money, or like $1,000 of money. So you have to take more loan to start if you don't have missions.
Yeah. See, this is where the not having missions really throws me, because I feel like missions are really a part of the game. You know, you can't make a fortune in hard mode doing missions. But when you start off a map, if you could go out and get, you know, $20,000 by working for somebody else, you could buy yourself your first tractor and your first you know, your first couple of pieces of equipment, you could lease them to start your farm, then I'd like that to be doable.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you know, I think that in version 3.0, yeah, he can keep the Mountain Valley mission free and just keep it all as blank field. But I feel like, because it's a 4K map, I feel like part of the map should incorporate some large agriculture, like, you know, make the next valley over all big farms with big jobs to be done, so that you can go over to the neighboring village and just go get a job and start buying your equipment by doing jobs, instead of being tied to logging as your only way out of the hole.
Please be gone.
Try, cool.
But yeah, definitely, like one corner of the map should be like one big farmer that's
Yeah.
active.
Yeah, that's it. So, like, you know, you build like I feel like the final map should have 3 farms on it. It should have a small farm in the valley. It should have a massive agricultural estate where, you know, they have like a big house kind of area where you have massive fields and
Big buildings and
yeah, big silos and all that stuff. So that if you eventually want to grow into that kind of agriculture, you can go to that. And then there should be like a third area, which is medium farming, more along the lines of like a Thornton Farm or a Sandy Bay with weird shaped fields and,
yeah.
you know, a lot of wood.
Oh, a question for you. Weird shaped fields or square shaped?
They are, yes.
No. Which one is your favorite?
Oh, weird shape, of course. I've never known. I mean, that's bullshit. Unless you're in a river delta where they have infinite flat land, and where those farms were developed, you know, when they were first conceived of as linear kind of military-style surveyed fields, for the most part, you can't have those kind of fields in any geography, because there's rocks, because there's mountains, because there's water, because there's, you know, contours to the land. I feel like the weird fields, the square field, waste a lot of space. Like what you're having to do now, grinding out all the trees, is because, well, those rocks are not square. The farmyard is not square. Like, to me, that's more natural. That feels better.
Definitely.
And does it mean that, like, you know, like the what's that Polish one, that Bruzda, or my Polish is awful. I'm probably mastering the word, but there was a post. There's like a map that's just post-communist Poland, really shitty buildings and small stuff. The fields on that map are amazing. Like,
I might have seen that too.
Yeah.
But I really can't remember the name.
Yeah, I think Daggerwood is actually doing a series on it right now. and you own all the fields right from the
The
start.
Broska, or
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, and it's one of those maps that, you know, I don't like the gameplay on it because you do own everything, but because of its conception and the way that it is, I don't know if you could make it so that you could buy the fields because they're not square, they're far from square. Like, I don't even know how you could enter field definitions to make them work. But I think what Dusty Day was telling me is that what he does with his weird shaped fields is that he puts multiple rectangles in them to do these field definitions, so that the rectangles don't fill the whole field, but they give you an appropriate size for pricing and permissions. So he just
Yeah.
overlays rectangles until they fit, right?
I know the style.
Yeah. But I feel like what Giants has to go to in terms of field definition is to use more of the use
Splines.
some, yeah, well, splines are animal meshes, right? If they could repurpose the animal mesh so that you could paint on your fields for your definitions,
Yeah.
that might work better too. But splines would be nice. I mean, splines on just about everything would be nice. But I
Yeah.
think that with the animals, because you have to exclude them from certain areas so they don't climb trees and jump over buildings, I think the paint on thing is really the best way to go. There's still a jumping sheep on this map.
There is.
Yeah. At the northern door of the farm, or sorry, the
Oh,
west.
check the tire. Check the tires on the tractor when I hit the plow.
Oh, do they flatten out?
And these are
Oh,
the
that's
big
a big
modified
plow.
tires.
Ooh, squishy.
So low pressure,
Yeah, no kidding.
but awesome.
Is that a mod tractor?
Yeah, it's modded one.
Oh, okay.
But it's the in-game Valtra bit which has some IC and modded tires. And I've translated a lot of that to English too.
Hi, Robert.
Hey Robert.
Very cool.
And the Valtra N series is modded one too. It has,
Is it?
I think it has IC, reverse drive and modded tires.
I have to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the Vultans.
Yeah, there's a
There's
lot of people that do like something else. I know.
Yeah, but it's also it's mostly it's for me. I'm the same, a little bit the same with the new fence. I feel like the front grille on them reminds me too much of like automotive design, if you know what I mean. Like they feel like minivans in a little way. When you're inside, things are kind of plasticky and a little too clean. And I have a hard time believing that a dirty farmer full of slurry and manure would ever be able to keep a tractor like that around, because it's like all that shit just turned black after a while.
Well, I might be just a bit like stereotypic Finn.
Well, you've got some national pride going into it, so and you probably see them around Finland a lot. So that counts for something.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that about the Case IH, right? The reason why I'm a Case IH fan is because my uncle always had Case tractors. He had Cases, and he had one Massey for a little while, but for the most part, he was always running Cases.
Well, thank you, Roger. But I wouldn't say that myself. But it's nice to see somebody thinks of it.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to give you your like. Hang on. There you go. Like spike, 4-person like spike.
Yeah, come on, like spike.
Come on, we can
Not
get
lag
100%
spike, like spike.
Let's get 100% likes on this thing. It's always funny because Simulate is streaming right now too, and I kind of popped over just to give him his like, and it's like he's got like 260 people watching or something ridiculous. It's like, nope, I'm not hanging around here. Too many people in this room.
Yeah. So, about 10-15 minutes and have to call the stream again.
That's alright. That's alright. It's nice that you're getting to do it. It gives you a reason to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's nice that you get your hour of sort of farming meditation at the end of every day.
Yeah, and if somebody just pops in to chat with me, it's like the savior of the day.
Well, what I would say to you, my recommendation to you, and you can take it or leave it, but I would go with something less traditional in terms of, like, I wouldn't go into any kind of massive grinding kind of thing. You should find something that you can do for 1 hour per day that gives you a result at the end of the day. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I see
Kinda, yes.
Farmer Klein and Grizzly and all these people kind of grinding their way through it, and it's like it's going to exhaust them. Doing 72 streams of logging, I mean, you know, they're only at 26 and I can feel their energy draining out. So it's a bit of a marathon, and I think that if you're going to complete it, I think you need to sort of take your eye off the money for a moment and keep your eye on the fun.
Well, I've always thought of this as a, like, I'll just play and stream.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Because, you know, it's just one of those things where I know that for the most part on these challenges, if you want to finish them, you sort of have to maintain a level of variety and a level of joy throughout to be able to just, you know, get up the energy to sit down at the computer and carry on.
Yeah.
So I like what you're doing now, because you've got a couple of days of logging, and then you're going to have a couple of days of plowing, and then you're going to have a couple of days of cultivating, and that'll keep it fresh for you.
I'm not cultivating at all.
Oh, I know you're going straight from plow to seed?
Well, I have direct seed, so
Yeah.
that's useless sidestep.
Yeah. Well, unless you want to do an extra level of fertilization before your seed goes in, right? I mean,
Well,
the only use to cultivating is if you hit it with manure, then you plow it, then you slurry it, then you cultivate it, then you seed it, and then that way you never have to trample your crop with fertilization, because you've done all 3 stages before the crop is in.
Because I was thinking, after I've plowed, I'll spread some manure in here, and I have an add-on for chopped straw, and I hope it works with the manure mod. So I'll get 2 fertilizing states as I'm seeding.
Yeah, but I think for that you have to. I think the manure mod, you have to plow after manuring, right? So if you put a helper on manure to get your fields, like the existing fields manured, whatever you plow as new fields, it's not going to work on. You have to have the field created before it works.
Well, it's testing time then.
Exactly.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I noticed a while back, and I don't know if they fixed it, but I noticed that if you mow the grass, it gives you credit for plowing. Like if you plant grass, mow it,
Like
you
the
get
statistics.
Yeah, no, the red goes away, right? So what does that mean? I don't know, but I know that if you mow the grass, you immediately get a level of fertilization for whatever gets left on the field. So that saves you a level. Like that's if you're going into the grass business, right? You basically just get level 1, then you shoot it with some slurry to get your level 2, and then at first growth stage you weed it, and you've got all 3 levels of fertilization at very little cost. But that's just on grass. It's just the. But I don't know. Like this is my first time playing with the released version of Seasons, so it's a bit of a crapshoot for me
192
too.
for wood chips.
Oh, really? That's a lot.
I don't know.
Oh, you're having it automatically sell the wood chips too?
No, I just drive it on the wood sell point because I don't have extra codes.
Oh, okay.
And it's trying to play mountain goat.
It found a shortcut.
At first I was thinking about buying the Mack truck and Timber Runner or GTX autoloader for Greece for the map, but I was thinking about the cost.
The maintenance cost.
Well, the initial cost, because I have already 2 tractors and the truck would be only for carting wood.
Yeah. Well, you see, I use the Zeal pack for my trucking because the truck itself only costs $13,000, and it has a decent speed to it. So that's kind of my default truck. Now it's limited in that it doesn't go as fast as the Mack or anything like that. It doesn't have the power for the hills. But I find that if you give it a specific route, like instead of going the back way to the logging point, I would go the other way through the hotel. And it works fine that way. Time to do some testing.
Don't break it.
No, I always break it. That's my whole point. Why would I do it if I can't break it? I have a version of a map of Gold Dress sitting in my game, which has got like $10 million on it, and that one is all about breaking it.
So, that's the wood chips sold.
Nicely done.
Nice, yeah, 4,000 bucks. But yeah, I I will be ending the stream here. Next stream will be just more wood chips and plowing the fields.
Perfect. Progress.
Thank you everybody for watching and have a good one.
Good night.